In this example, which is example 4, we're taking a look at a situation here and we're wondering which amount is more unusual. So let's read the question, and we now have kind of a clue as to what we're looking for. The average profit for a celebrity chef restaurant is 325,000 a year with a standard deviation of 35 grand. Which amount is more unusual? A restaurant making 405,000 or 299,000? When we're talking about which amount or which data piece is more unusual, it's going to be nice to figure out which one is furthest from the mean. To do that, I think it would be a good idea to use a z-score. So let's take a look at what we know. We know that the mean is 325,000. It says the average profit. So that's our mean, 325,000. We also know that the standard deviation is 35,000. And we're wondering our two data pieces now, so I'll do one in blue here. Our data piece, or our X for the first one, is 405,000. And then our data piece for the next one is 299,000. By the way, one is below the mean and one is above. We're just figuring out which one here is more unusual, that's all. To work with our first piece of data, 405,000, we're going to find that z-score. And we're going to take our piece of data and we're going to subtract the mean, which is 325,000. And we're going to divide that by the standard deviation, which is 35,000. And you should find the z-score to be approximately 2.29. Take a moment if you need to pause the video, type that in your calculator, make sure that you can get that value. Let's take a look at the z-score for our other restaurant, which is making a profit of 299,000. So we'll do the same thing. We'll take our data piece, which is 299,000, our value, and we'll subtract 325,000. That's the mean, all over that standard deviation of 35,000. Take a minute to type that in your calculator. Pause the video if you'd like to. And you should wind up with a negative value for sure. And it's about should be about 0.74 here. We know that the z-score is going to be negative because this data value is below the mean. Also, 405,000 in blue there was above the mean. So we're expecting the z-score to be bigger than 0. Remember that z-score is just how many standard deviations the data value is away from the mean. So let's take a look at what we just did and answer the question here. It says, which amount is more unusual? And I'm going to say, I'm thinking here probably that z-score of 2.29 compared to negative 0.74 is more unusual. 2.29 would be more than 2 standard deviations to the right of the mean. Negative 0.74 is within 1 standard deviation of the mean. So the negative 0.74 data value is closer to the mean than the 405,000. So to answer the question here, we're going to say the $405,000 value is more unusual because it is further away from the mean compared to the 299. Oops, maybe I should move that up here. It might be a little bit easier to write. That's supposed to be an A here, compared to 299,000. And we've shown this mathematically. Justify your answer using mathematical concepts. Sweet.